This podcast is produced by Outcomes Rocket, your healthcare exclusive digital marketing agency. Outcomes Rocket exists to help healthcare organizations like yours to maximize their impact and accelerate growth. Visit outcomesrocket.com or text us at 312-224-9945. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Outcomes Rocket. So excited to bring you into another outstanding podcast where we talk to some really amazing health leaders. Today, I've got the privilege of hosting Alex Guastella. He is the CEO of Sympti, and they're doing some amazing work in helping direct care at the right place at the right time. Alex, so grateful that you could join us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. Hey, look, so help the listeners know a little bit more about you and the work that you do.
Yeah, sure. So, obviously about myself, I've been kind of in the digital health space for, we're going on like 17 years now. Like, can't believe it's 17 years almost.
Time flies.
I know, right? And so I've been in the space for quite a while. I've been part of, some amazing organizations prior to us starting my prior name was actually Quicker Care, and then we actually did a rebrand about a year ago. And so when we migrated to Sympti, it was really around sick care. There's 141 million people who end up in an emergency room every year. And then that's not even including, there's also the next, 30 million that end up into an urgent care. And so our goal was to say, all right, that's a lot of people. How do we make sure they're all in the right place? Because I think we're doing a great job booking online for scheduled care. There's a lot of that do that. Our goal was to say, let's use a little bit of artificial intelligence to really, hone in on the right sick type of care in that immediate setting. And then how do we either navigate them to either a telehealth visit, urgent care, or an ED visit based on their criteria or their symptoms. And so that's, now we're 7 years in. And
Awesome. No, hey, and thanks, Alex. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, this type of care navigation is critical. You guys are using technology to enable it. Talk to us about how it's different and why it matters so much right now.
It actually all changed really because of COVID, right? So what we saw was there is this immense need for patients or potential patients to go in, and everybody's just, searching ailments online, right? And the reason why it's becoming more of a value asset for not just the providers, but even the payers is because we're getting the patient in the right level of care. So we're able to say, if they did end up in the ED, at least we pre-identified that they or most likely should be in the ED. I think we're 90% correct that patient should be in the ED. And so, payers like that aspect because that means we're getting patients over to a lower cost of care, but it's also helping outcomes. I mean, patients are waiting in the ED for a lot longer, they're not waiting at the urgent care for a lot longer, or they're even utilizing telehealth for sick care as opposed to just scheduled care. So, we're really kind of honing in on that. Like, here's all these assets, these great assets, right? That are either telehealth or this immediate care. Let's just make sure the right patients are getting there. Because I think like 10 years ago, everybody just went to the emergency room. So now we're saying, all right, you can go to the urgent care. Maybe you shouldn't. We're going to help guide you there. And that's why we became, kind of a differentiator.
That's great, man. No, I think it makes a big difference. You don't want people in the ED. They're overfilled. It's too expensive. And just not where you want to be. What end customer do you serve in the healthcare ecosystem with your business?
Our customers that pay our bills every day are hospitals. So we work with health systems, urgent care providers. I would say telehealth providers, but those tend to just be the hospitals. End user customer is the patient. So we want to make sure that every patient that ends up with the tens of thousands of patients that end up using us every month, that they use us and that they get a good outcome, right? They're able to get into a facility without waiting an extreme amount of time, that their experience is better, and that means their experience as they leave is going to be better. And so, we serve both.
Thank you. No, really great to know. And what's one thing most people don't know about the problem you solve?
I think people don't know that like one of the biggest issues is urgent care, right? Urgent care it's a great asset, right? Patients don't always know it exists, or they don't know what they can go to urgent care for. I think it gets utilized very heavily for things like sports physicals or scrapes and bruises. Sometimes if you get into like an auto accident, you go and get your check. But I think the default still is the emergency room. And so our goal is to, without having to spend the money, which anybody who would spend this money on educating people on what urgent care does, we're kind of doing it automatically, right? We're using automated systems to be able to identify those symptoms and, just guide them to the right place.
That's great. No, it's critical. And we like to learn from successful people, Alex. What is your favorite business resource or business hack that you recommend to
I
our
should say like
listeners and
some
why?
type of AI, right? That just writes all my emails. I'm just kidding.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to
No. I
be.
think for myself, I'm gonna actually tell all the employees this is get some silent time throughout the day, right? Decompression, because I think especially when we're in front of computers a lot, our team is all over the world. I think it gets monotonous, and being able to kind of sit there and think and just free yourself of that, right? That's so important. It's more than reading. I read a lot of books,
Yeah.
so I definitely have a slew on my shelf up here. But I also think just like on the day to day, being able to just kind of get a breather in the middle of your day.
Love that.
Sure.
Yeah, great tip. Can't forget to
Yeah.
take a little breather. I like to go for walks. I like to just get out and
Oh, yeah.
do a walk, free my mind.
Oh, I love it. I mean, we're in
helps.
Florida, so we're in South Florida. So sometimes, especially when the summer comes, you want to do the outside, the whole like, let me take a walk, and then it's 95-degree, 100% humidity, and you come in, you have to take a whole shower, and there's not enough showers at the office. So, but no, I totally agree with you. I think getting fresh air, it's just really important, especially in this digital age, right? I've been in tech my entire career at this point, and I'm inside. So I think it's definitely very important. Like, we tell our kids to do that and make sure you go outside and play. Right? I think as adults,
I love that, man. Yeah, I love that. Hey, look, so I love what you guys are doing for providers, also patients. You got to know where to go. You guys do it digitally with technology. If there's health systems leaders listening to this that want to know how to get in touch with you, and if what you have is a good fit for them, where can they get in touch?
We have you go to Sympti.com. It's pretty easily. You can email me directly, Alex@Sympti. We answer the phone, we answer email 24 hours a day. So we're always available. And yeah, we would work with any health system. I mean, when we've done an analysis of all the hospitals in America, there's almost nobody that can't use our service. Doesn't matter how big or small you usually are. And we are crossing the pond. So, going into Latin America is very important. And those are areas where we can.
Outstanding, Alex. Well, look, I want to thank you very much for joining us. And for everybody, leave all of the ways to get in touch with him and his team at Sympti. So take advantage of that. Really appreciate you all tuning in to our podcast today. And we'll catch you all soon. Alex, thanks for being with us. This podcast is produced by Outcomes Rocket, your healthcare exclusive digital marketing agency. Outcomes Rocket exists to help healthcare organizations like yours to maximize their impact and accelerate growth. Visit outcomesrocket.com or text us at 312-224-9945.